If we can dream it up, and TopoDOT can create it for us. It's good to see the capability so you can sell your services better. TopoDOT gives us that confidence to just walk in and say, yeah, it can be done.
Well, thank you very much for joining me today.
Okay.
And what is your name?
Trevor Tyson.
And who do you work for, Trevor?
GPI Geospatial.
And where are you based?
I'm actually based out of Tampa. Our corporate office is in Orlando, but we service up and down the eastern seaboard from Maine to Miami. Just last year I was up in Maine towards the end, right November, December, doing a project. Drove to Massachusetts, back to Maine, and just all over. I think we went through every state along the eastern seaboard last year in about 3 weeks doing projects. What I do at GPI is mostly mobile LiDAR. My background, I started in survey back in 2005, traditional survey. About 2009, started introduced in the LiDAR, static LiDAR. By 2011, I was doing aerial and mapping using Regal VMX 250 when it first started coming out and getting some traction here in the U.S. I heard about TopoDOT when I was at EarthEye, and that's when I started getting to the mobile LiDAR. But it wasn't until I left EarthEye, I went back to a company, KCI, which I had worked for since 2005, is kind of where I got started. And really got introduced into TopoDOT. I was kind of the standalone LiDAR guy, so I had to sell it to all the superiors, and you know, had to kind of start branding TopoDOT as how you map with LiDAR.
Well, now that takes me on to a really interesting subject, the brand. From a business and a marketing perspective, how you had to sell that to your bosses?
What TopoDOT allowed us to do is it allowed us to generate the same map that we've always done traditionally, but with point clouds. So the way I sold it to to the superiors, where it's like you, the license guy, the guy in charge, the guy responsible, is now sitting in the office and can see exactly what your guys are looking at and see and pick your own points. You're not relying on someone who is in the field for 10, 12 hours a day, every day. It's hot. We're primarily in Florida, so it's hot. I mean, you can pick and choose. So it gave them that real touch and feel. They had more confidence actually using the TopoDOT software because they could see what was being mapped. It's just a little more transparency, I guess you would say.
So how's that developed then? So having TopoDOT in the business, has it speeded up your efficiencies? Can you see that in the company?
Absolutely. It was very clunky before mapping off of LiDAR. You had to do a lot of draping, and then you go out and you traditionally survey it to check it, and a lot of modifications back and forth. TopoDOT allowed a lot of speed, versatility. You can add many different users, work in and out. The software, it's user based, so you can have it on multiple machines. Reaching out and going to sit with clients and hearing their needs and understanding first what they need from us, and then how to tailor the software or tailor the products. TopoDOT gives us that confidence to just walk in and say, yeah, it can be done. That no problem at all. It's what TopoDOT does. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to worry about making that end product. And that's huge. It gives you that confidence with your group.
Does your clientele and market see that you've suddenly become more efficient, you're delivering faster?
Yes, more efficient, more versatile. Actually, GPI Geospatial was primarily a photogrammetric and aerial firm. So introducing static, mobile, and even traditional survey it was fairly new with that. So what we've done is we've been able to broaden the horizons, and so instead of just mapping roads and mapping watersheds, now we can map railroads, we can map tunnels, we can extract bridge elements, and we can just walk in with that confidence that, hey, TopoDOT has our back there. And if we can dream it up, and TopoDOT can create it for us.
Yeah. What would you say is then your main market?
A lot of the services complement each other. So instead of just being a niche market going out and doing the aerial work, we may use a combination of aerial, traditional survey, static to do the project. So it's more coupled, but right now I think our core business has always been aerial. Our aerial groups are private development as well as DOT. Mobile LiDAR, it's typically transportation, road projects, smaller municipalities, asset inventories. And from a static, it's more strategic interior BIM modeling. We scanned Atlanta Airport recently. Bridges.
You use TopoDOT for the airport?
Yeah, for the extraction, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, TopoDOT, some TopoDOT and some BIM modeling as well.
Okay. And what do you think of the TopoDOT User Conference 2019?
I love coming here every year. It's one of my favorite conferences to go to. It's always fun. It's always the place to go to have fun. Ted's always got it all thought out and make sure everybody has a good time, not only to learn, but just to have a good time and meet people. It's always fun. It's always enjoyable to come to this conference.
And what do you think of the networking?
Everybody wants to talk, and everybody wants to get to know you, and especially with Ted and those guys let us bring the vans out every year, so we get a lot of exposure there, and everybody wants to see what we do. And we try to switch it up a little bit every year. Like this year, we brought the high rail configurations.
So, what would you say to someone who's new to TopoDOT? They could be anywhere in the world, about coming to the TopoDOT User Conference.
It's a must. It's a must. It helps lay the groundwork. It'll help you gain the confidence with your superiors, with the people who are mapping. Also, if you are the head honcho, it's good to see the capability so you can sell your services better. It helps lay the building blocks, and there's the advanced courses that kind of help drive it through, maybe speed it up, your production and things like that.